67,000 screaming fans at the Eye are ready for tonight's showdown as the one-loss 6-2 Florida Storm take on the one-loss 7-1 Arizona Scorpions in a battle of heavyweights. Arizona, a two-time championship contender, and Florida, a two-time defending champion. Charles, Arizona wants this bad, but Florida may need it worse. What do you think?
Yeah, Florida's coming off a two-game losing streak, and Arizona lost last week as well. And the one thing that stood out to me is both of these offensive lines let the defense get to their quarterbacks more than average. So I think the key here is to protect the quarterback tonight, not just from the defensive line, but last game both linebackers from the opposing teams were able to penetrate that blocking scheme for both Florida and Arizona and really harass both quarterbacks. So let's see if they have an answer for that tonight.
Florida's going to get the football first. Arizona's first trip to the Eye in the regular season since season 9. That was back when they were the Oklahoma City Renegades. The ball's on the tee, the hands in the air. Kick it, we are underway. Thank you, Cliff Allen, and special teams. Booted 7 yards deep into the end zone, and Bobby Tarantino will not be able to bring it out. We saw Ron Cochran a couple of weeks ago against Canton. Charles really struggled, but he is still, despite that rough game and despite this two-game losing streak, the most efficient quarterback in the SFL.
Yeah, they had time to prepare, Cam, so I want to see if they throw some new wrinkles in their game plan that we haven't seen yet this season.
Florida hasn't played since that Monday night game, and they start with a handoff to Charlie Beletsky, who picks up 5 up the middle of the field. 2nd and 5 coming up for Florida, who's in their red alerts tonight, all red. Arizona, black, white, black with the orange trim. Second down, 5. Handoff, Chris Komisak breaks a tackle. Komisak breaks another, has a first down and more down the sideline. One of the best runs of the season for Komisak for the first down.
It's early in the game, Cam, but what I see so far is some pretty solid blocking, not only from the offensive line for Florida, but also the tight ends as well. It's set up for Komisak to get a good gain there.
First down at the 39. Florida's offense led by Cochran, Beletsky, and Komisak in the backfield. The wide receivers, Stephen Bush, Caleb Giffis, Art Vandelay, and Bobby Tarantino. Tight ends, Ron Haynes, Nate LeMay. And up front on the line, Randy Fatt III, Joseph Wade, Greg McDonaldson. A few names to keep an eye on. In the backfield, Art Vandelay is smoked out. Albert Begin on the tackle, a loss of 2.
Looks like It looks like got some penetration there early at the snap there, and they got to be careful on that. You know, if you see him overloading on the side, you have to make an adjustment on the line, maybe run to the other side or up the middle.
Cochran on second down. Deep shot is incomplete. His first pass of the game sails over the head of Ron Haynes despite his outstretched arms. A critical 3rd and long coming up for the first time tonight.
Much like last week, Cam, I talked a lot about those quick drop-back passes. I think both of these teams, in order to be successful against these aggressive defenses for Florida and Arizona, the longer the quarterback holds onto the ball, the worse it's going to turn out to be.
3rd and 12. Cochran escaping to his left. Fires, being pursued by Sean Moore, and Art Vandelay finds an opening in the defense, Florida and Arizona territory.
And that's what a veteran quarterback does. Ron Cochran has the patience in the backfield. Had to go out of the pocket, add some time there to go through his progressions, and found the open right receiver right in between the zone coverage.
To your point about the pressure, Arizona 15 sacks this season, 7th in the SFL. That is the same for the Florida Storm on either side as Cochran flips it out to Komisak, and Komisak again disparges a couple of Scorpion defenders for an 8-yard gain.
Normally they're passing to Bullet out of the backfield. This is one of the things I like about the Florida offense is they pass a lot to their receivers out of the backfield, mostly Bullet, but on that time they found Komisak for a nice gain.
50 combined catches from Beletsky and Komisak this season, as Beletsky will change direction, finds some open space inside the 20. Charlie Beletsky all the way down to the 12-yard line, one of the best runs of his season.
one of the best runs I think you'll see all year. I mean, that did not start out well. He had to make some adjustments there. That just shows you the veteran runner. He's got some patience, turned inside, found the hole in the offensive line, was able to turn it into a great game.
Florida impressive on their opening drive. 2 carries for Bullitt for 26 yards and 2 carries for Comisac for 22 yards. That Comisac 14-yarder, I think, may be labeled a pass. It could have been a lateral. We'll have to check in post. As Ron Cochran is nearly sacked, throws a dangerous pass. It's a 2-yard loss. Everett Garrison, a heat-seeking missile, almost took that the other way.
That was they escaped a hand grenade on that one. I mean, I'm telling you, that's not what veteran quarterbacks need to do. Throw it out of bounds.
Wow, Ron dodges a bullet, tosses it to Comisac to set up a 3rd down and 4. Kind of wish he would have thrown a bullet on that play to make that work. Another crucial 3rd down for Florida.
Really getting their fullbacks and halfbacks involved in the passing game. And Arizona's, they're on their heels, and they're going to have to, show what they can do here in the red zone.
3rd and 4, needs just inside the 3. Ron, end zone, touchdown, Ron Haynes in the back of the end zone for the first score of the night.
I think that was his first touchdown of the season as well, if I'm correct. That was a great drive there by Florida. I mean, not many mistakes with the exception of that one, wild throw to the opposite side by Cochran. Other than that, it was, all thumbs up. A great drive.
Ron Haynes, welcome to the end zone. He is the 6th different player to catch a touchdown from Ron Cochran this season. And Ethan Snead will come on for the extra point. That kick is good, although off to the left. We may be in for a shaky night for kickers if the wind is gusting that hard. A 10-play, 79-yard drive for Ron Haynes, who waves high to the camera, and Arizona up against it a little bit early on.
Cam, I got some quiz questions for you here when we can.
Fire away.
I spoke to both of the coaches for these teams, and you got to guess which team gave me what answer.
All right.
You ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
One coach I asked, for some input for tonight, and they said their strategy was the punt on 3rd down. And then the other coach sent me a DM that took me 30 minutes to read, and it had a table of contents, citations, and footnotes. You get to guess who sent me what.
Okay, 1st and 10 of the 24. Bismarck Wright picks up 3 yards. I think that it was Eddie Gage who sent you the bibliography of his coaching theology.
You are correct, sir.
Is that right?
Yeah.
What do you have?
Good information in it, but I had to take some time off from work to read it.
Do you have the footnotes from what was that company called?
I haven't validated
Spark
them yet.
Oh, the pass is caught deep down the field. Yayo Montana gets free, and Arizona's in Florida territory.
Yeah, he's the one guy one of many, but he's the fastest player on the field at Montana. Got to put a player on him, man-to-man, if possible, because he's going to find that opening, and he's going to accelerate, and he's going to be gone, just like on that play.
Ashley Jackson is Arizona's quarterback. Brad Jones, DJ Moses, Bismarck Wright in the backfield. Donnie Hands, Montana, Hank Earl Troll, TJ Punk. Your receivers at tight end, Adam Grabowski and Will Todd. On the line, Tina Begin, Patrick Kelly, Gene Benazzi, Igor Barbatov, and Charles Michael. Deep. Again, caught. 1st down, Donnie Hands. Ashley Jackson like a laser tonight.
Yeah, they relied on him last week. I know they lost last week against Denver, but he was the only receiver to get a touchdown. I think Eddie lists him as a 4 wide receiver. I think he's probably best wide receiver 3 in the SFL. I mean, he's been getting touchdowns almost every game.
These two teams give up a combined average of 27.7 points per game as Brad Jones breaks off a tackle, picks up 8. The over-under's 37.5, but both offenses have fired out of the cannon in the first quarter here.
This is what you want to see out of a playoff team on the road in Arizona, responding to a solid drive by their opponent in Florida, answering quickly. They're down in the scoring position here, and so far so good.
I think we got Yayo mic'd up tonight. We got a isolation camera on him. 2nd down and 2, 4.5 to go in the first quarter. Hand off, and DJ Moses tried to bounce it outside. He's going to lose a yard with forward progress. Jesus Smith and company there to make the stop.
I think if DJ Moses had another shot at that, he probably would have cut in. That little bounce outside was not what the doctor ordered.
That was Moses' 100th carry of the season. 334 yards and 2 touchdowns. Handoff, Brad Jones breaks a tackle. Jesus Smith is there again to make the stop, and that will likely bring out Cliff Allen for the 3.
Ryan Tobin, the inside linebacker, slowed him down just enough for Smith to come and finish him off.
Cliff Allen from 27 yards out. See how the wind is doing on this side of the field. It is really gusting out there, Charles. Wow. That one almost hooked all the way right, but it is good. 7-play, 66-yard drive. Arizona's on the board.
Yeah, that looked like my golf shot right there.
Yeah, I don't even – if I tried to play, Charles, I don't think I could even get the ball up off the ground.
I tell you, though, I mean, they walk away with 3, but they had to respond, and they did, and it's something to build on. They've shown some success on the pass tree. They can next series they can capitalize on that again.
Bobby Tarantino, nice return up to the 35. Anchor Troll, who returned the kickoff for Arizona on the last drive, makes the tackle. On special teams, the Scorpions defense is number 1 in the SFL in total defense. They give up just 256 yards per game, led up front by Hunter Norwood, the Hall of Famer, David Tilley, Alex Constantine, and Dede Sachs as well. Linebackers, a talented group of Sean Moore, J.R. Lawless, and Nathaniel Diggs. At corner, Bo Martin Jr., Terrell Davis, Ernest McCrae Sr., and Everett Garrison man the back line. Rain Rie, Albert Begin, your safeties. 19 seasons combined between the two there. Ron Cochran fires with a little bit of pressure, but still with the catch. Ron Haynes very involved in the early going first down.
Well, I would say that's just a little bit more than a little bit. there was a defender right in his face, and the cagey veteran had the patience to get it off to Ron Haynes.
Can you imagine if we were down on the field and I said to Ron after that play, yeah, you seemed like you had a little bit of pressure there. Be curious to see what he would have to say to me.
Have you returning punts?
For 1st and 10, 3:10 to go in the first. Cochran drops back, sets up a screen, and it's off the noggin of that was the backup to Chris Comisac, so not what Florida was looking for there. 2nd and 10.
Yeah, it's dangerous. Bo Martin was in the zip code there, and he had a shot at grabbing that, was just a half a step behind.
3:09 to go in the first quarter. Both offenses high octane at the moment. Charlie Beletsky shifts back directly behind. Ron Cochran stands in to pass protect, and Art Vandelay has a reception wrapped up at the end by Albert Begin, already his 5th tackle. First down, Florida.
Yeah, great. The Florida wide receivers are very sound at route running. I mean, position themselves on the pass to help their quarterback turn around where only the ball can hit them and not the defender. I mean, the perfect execution there by Vandelay.
First down and 10. Ron Cochran back under center, where he has operated much of the night. 6 for 8 for 75 yards and a touchdown. Handoff. Beletsky is dropped pretty quickly. J.R. Lawless with the stop. The last time Arizona beat Florida was that classic quarterfinal playoff game. Charles, 36-35. Arizona wins on a walk-off Cliff Allen field goal. It's been so long. Cliff Allen left the team and is now back on the team with Arizona and here in Florida tonight as Charlie Beletsky down the sideline nearly picks up the first down. You know, that game happened in this building. It's great to see these two teams back on the field playing each other again tonight.
Yeah, definitely, and both at the top of the standings as well. On that last play there, though, what I really like Florida, Cochran is getting rid of that ball so quickly, you know, dumping it off to the halfback and able to get some good yardage there.
Handoff Comisac, a lot of running room. Really nice open field tackle by Begin there, but not enough to stop Chris from moving the chains. Another first down for Florida.
So far, the offense for Florida has just been attacking this like a surgeon. Just little bits and chunks down the field, and before you know it, they're in the red zone.
This is kind of what we expected to see out of Florida when they played Canton. It just didn't materialize.
Right.
They ended up with the goose egg. They're a totally different unit 2 weeks from that night. Cochran checks it down. That pass caught by Haynes, a 5-yard pickup. Ron Haynes already with 3 catches.
Ron Haynes is on fire so far tonight. Running great routes, getting separation, and Cochran as well. It doesn't bode well when Cochran's at 80% here with almost at the end of the first quarter.
Maybe giving Ron a night off of the stats truck has helped him in this matchup. Handoff, Comisac could not be dropped in the backfield and would not be denied for the first down. Eventually, McCray Sr. able to drag him down to the ground, but it's 1st and goal for Florida for the 2nd straight possession.
That's the type of play that gets every person on the offensive team that has to block a defender pumped. They love it because just fighting to the end, getting those extra yards and getting a first down.
Cochran heavy set, 1st and goal. Handoff Boletsky, and Boletsky loses 2. Lawless with the TFL.
That was a big stop. This is the time for the Arizona defense to make a statement. You can't let them put 7 on the board. Got to make a turnover. You got to do something to dictate the terms of the game.
That is the end of the first quarter. They'll go all the way to the other side of the field, try to score in that end zone to start the second quarter. Florida 7, Arizona 3. You're watching the Monday Night Spectacular Week 11 edition of Season 23 right here on SFL YouTube. Aerial coverage of today's game provided by Dags DroneWorks, aerial photography and videography services for real estate, events, marketing, and more. Learn more at dagsdroneworks.com. Charles, Mike Dags, and his wonderful wife, Kelly, their tour of SFL cities continued. Finally got to get down to Fort Lauderdale and get some beautiful shots.
I missed the blimp.
Oh, I think the blimp will be here. The blimp was trolling him last night. The blimp was in Buffalo. Queen City scored, and his own blimp got the TV time. That was brutal. 2nd and goal for Florida as Arizona looks for their first true stop of the night. Boletsky again met by Lawless. J.R. Lawless has had his number. Another critical 3rd down coming up, but Florida's been perfect.
Let's see what the Arizona defense does here. If they send a linebacker or a safety in to disrupt the flow of this play.
Shotgun, split backs. Ron Cochran, deep drop back. Fires, end zone, incomplete. And Bo Martin Jr. with the deflection, looking for Stephen Bush. I kind of got flashbacks, Charles, to when Ron Cochran took a shotgun snap on a 3rd and goal and got a quarterback scramble touchdown against Baltimore. Not sure if you remember that or not, but that's what I thought he was going to do there.
Yeah, and but on that play, it looked like Arizona had 45 defenders in the end zone.
4th and goal of the 23. Ethan Sneed with a chip shot, and that is through. 10-3, 3 possessions in this one, 3 scores, 12-play, 59-yard drive.
I'm sure that Eddie and Arizona, aren't thrilled that they put 3 on the board, but the defense, they buckled down in the red zone and kept it to 3. So they're only down by 7, and if it's anything, their last possession has anything to show, they can put points up quick.
Ron Cochran in his last game crossed the 55,000-yard milestone. Congrats to Ron on another achievement as he is chasing the retired Hall of Famer Julian Tyree for most all-time. He's got 88 yards tonight. Ashley Jackson's perfect, 2 for 2 for 50.
Yep. And you went ahead and jinxed her. Thanks. I was going to say that, but I'm like, wait, let me wait on that one.
Sorry. Sometimes you just see stuff, and we have to say something.
I had to go there.
Oh, there Jackson got away and threw an incompletion. Way to go, Charles.
That offensive play was brought to you by Cam Irvin.
Sorry, AJ. 2nd and 10. Still great job to get rid of that sack, though.
You can't recover from that one, Cam. You just got to move
I
on.
tried. Second down and 10. 2 receivers top of the screen. Handoff, Brad Jones. We talked about in pregame that Brad Jones got to get going. He's been a little quiet the last month or so. Picks up 4 to set up a more manageable 3rd down.
Yeah, I heard that on the pregame, but you got to, well, in one game, not necessarily last week, but the prior week, both Jones and Moses had 54 yards, so they spread it around a little bit.
Jackson back to pass, deep shot, and TJ Punk could not come up with it. That's your first true stop of the night. Daniel Wright in coverage. Arizona will have to punt.
Cam went and uncorked it.
Oh, now see, I can recover if you ever let me recover.
I can't help it. It's
If you're just going to keep bringing it up, I'm never going to.
All right, I won't bring it up for a couple minutes.
This is karma for me giving Mike Deggs a hard time with the lower thirds last night on his broadcast. 1st and 10 from the Florida 44-yard line off the Tarantino return. All is well for Florida. Arizona's got to find an answer defensively.
Yeah, I know, but can we get serious for a second here, Cam? I mean, that was not a good series there for Arizona, and the way Florida's been playing, it's possible they could be down 2 scores. Arizona could be down 2 scores at the end of this.
First down of the 44, hand off to Beletsky. Sean Moore actually got his knee down behind the line of scrimmage. Loss of a short one, 2nd and 11.
Yeah, I'm never a fan of that weak side run where you have to run across the line. I've said that a couple times, Cam. You probably know by now. It just takes too long for the play to develop.
Certainly did that time. Cochran will drop back to pass. A dart. Oh, what a play. Albert Begin knocked it out of Ron Haynes' hands. A punch from behind.
That was perfect coverage there by Albert Begin. I mean, holy smokes. All over Ron Haynes, and I thought that was a catch, but great defense there by Albert Begin.
So 3rd and 11. Ron's been here before. He stormed 3 for 4 on 3rd down. The only one they failed on the last drive resulted in a field goal. That's caught by Bush, but it is just short. And another tackle from Albert Begin. He has been by far their most consistent defender tonight.
Yeah, I'm not sure a play action on 3rd and long is gonna fool a defense, especially Arizona.
That's exactly what the Scorpions needed to get back on track. Marcus Agrippa with the punt. It is going to hop into the end zone. That's unfortunate. I thought he was going to cough in that one.
Where was the wind?
Apparently it is back.
Well, they Arizona dodged the bullet. The defense, last couple series for the defense, they've done what they needed to do, putting the ball back in the offensive hands, and let's see if they can capitalize.
1st and 10 at the 20. Jackson, quick little handoff for 3 to Bismarck Wright. This Florida Storm defense has Deontay Stoneville, Alessandro Tomaello, Pete Mitchell, and the rising star Dallas Knowles up front on the line. Ryan Tobin, Jesus Smith, and Juan Mississippi at the linebacker spots. Ryan Davidson, Evan Carroll, Adam Jones at corner. Daniel Wright, Andrew Francis, J.J. Bailey back in their safety positions. Ashley Jackson's pass is incomplete. Was looking for Adam Grabowski. Would have been his first catch of the season, 3rd and 7.
Yeah, they did an overload blitz at the top of the screen there. I think that forced AJ to get rid of that ball quickly, and the play wasn't allowed to develop.
Third and 7. 7:28 to go in the first half. Jackson again unloads, and TJ Punk is there. Boy, applying pressure was big number 91, I think, up the gut, and Ashley delivered.
Yeah, and it was a 3-down linemen were able to get a little bit of pressure on AJ, but she just stood in there like we've talked about Ron Cochran and his being a veteran there, stayed steady in the pocket, and AJ can do that as well, and showed it on that play.
Jackson is sacked from behind. Juan, Mississippi gets to her. You talked about the pressure. We have our first sack of the night. It belongs to Florida.
I think that's the key on both sides. Get those linebackers engaged, maybe a safety blitz. I don't think either of these offensive line are prepared for it, and Juan, Mississippi has his 3rd sack of the season.
Second down and 16. Ashley Jackson with pressure. Donnie hands, sure hands, with another big catch down the field. First down, Arizona into Florida territory.
She ran right into the mouth of the dragon on that one. Almost got nailed by Tomaello there and was able to get rid of the ball. And that was a pretty darn good pass. I mean, under duress, very accurate.
That could have been Tomaello's first sack of the season. Just came up a little short. Jackson 4 for 7 for 83. Hands has 2 of those 4 catches. Toss, Brad Jones breaks off a tackle but cannot get out of the backfield. Juan, Mississippi for the 2nd time on first down, a menace with a capital M.
Juan, Mississippi, also Ryan Tobin as well. They teamed up to stop that pitch play.
5:50 first half. Defenses have settled into this game after the offenses had the early advantage. Jackson outside, incomplete. Punk got a helmet right on the football from the Florida defense. 3rd and 10. I believe that was Carroll.
Yeah, it was Carroll, and Carroll was on an island. But hey, that's one cornerback you don't need to lose any sleep over on one-on-one coverage. Played it perfectly and disrupted that pass.
Carroll tops in the league this season with 2 defensive touchdowns and 5 picks. Jackson over the top of the defense. Did someone get a finger on that? Looking for Montana. The drive stalls out.
Yeah, it looked like maybe just we won't get a replay on that one, but it looks like the ball just kind of dropped, and that would indicate somebody got their mitts on it.
Wow, for Arizona, that has to be deflating. Got into Florida territory, and then 3 straight incompletions. Halts the drive back to, or check that, two straight incompletions and a no-yard run, just like a no-yard return there from Tarantino will set up Florida on the 13.
Well, we still got a lot of game left, Cam, but I thought it was going to be a shootout here after those first couple series. But it looks like both defenses have settled in, and this is going to be a fight to put points up on the board.
First down on the 13. Handoff, that's Vandelay. 2nd carry, picks up 5. Been a little quiet in the opening, but does have 2 catches for 30 yards as well. I mean, the dude could erupt at any time.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, he's one you have to. We talked about Yayo on the Arizona side. Art's one of those wide receivers you always got to keep an eye on.
Halfway through the 2nd quarter, Sean Moore showing blitz. He does bring it. This is Comisac, and a nice job by Nathaniel Diggs and company to make sure that he could not pick up the first down. 3rd and 1.
This is Ron Cochran's perfect situation for him on 3rd and 1. He's got any play in the playbook he can call, and let's see if they run it or pass it. Sky's the limit.
Hand off, Boletsky, easy to the 29-yard line, untouched for about 6 yards. Offensive line doing great work.
That was a great block up the middle between the guard and the tackle. Looks like it had we won't see a replay, but it looks like it was a good setup. The gap was just where it needed to be for a first down run.
Cochran will throw on 1st and 10 and find Ron Haynes over the middle. He's had a case of the dropsies over the past couple games. He is on fire right now.
And that was not the most accurate pass by Ron Cochran tonight, but look at the effort that Ron Haynes had. It was good coverage there by, it looked like Lawless was covering the outside linebacker for Arizona, but he just did that outstretched arms and was able to bring it in at the last minute.
Lawless did not make it easy on Ron Haynes there. 51 yards for Haynes on 4 catches. Leads all receivers in receptions and yards tonight. Vandalay on the carry, nothing there. 2nd and 10.
Yeah, that was a great. The defense for Arizona just shut down that edge. It looked like it was going to be a big run there, but they at the last second, the closing speed by Arizona defense was just able to shut it down.
171 yards for Florida in the first half, but they only have a 7-point lead. 63 on the ground, 108 through the air, 9 first downs. Ron Cochran again back to pass all day this time. Fires deep, incomplete, and it's Albert Begin there to make another terrific play down the field on Stephen Bush.
It was Albert Begin, but he also had some backup by Rie as well. I mean, that was not. I didn't know what the rest of the field looked like, but it looked like double coverage to me, my friend.
3rd and long again for Florida tonight. Their 7th third down attempt. Another play action. Will it work this time? No, that is knocked away. More terrific defense from this Arizona secondary. Terrell Davis with the deflection. Arizona gets the stop.
Another win for the defense, and on both sides. One of these offenses are going to have to take control and put some points on the board.
First 3 possessions were a score. Last 4 possessions, a punt. Agrippa booms it. Fair catch called for at the 17-yard line. Coming up on the SFL Halftime Report on this Monday Night Spectacular, Chris Curtis and Tyler Falk recap a fun first half in the eye. They'll give their winners and losers from an exciting Week 11, and Tyler picks one team outside the playoff picture that could get in with a late surge. Will it be a blessing or a curse? We'll find this out and more on the MNS Halftime Report coming up in just a few moments. Handoff Brad Jones will pick up 3. What would you like to see from Arizona on this drive besides the obvious?
A little more aggression, some more linebacker blitzes, maybe move. Excuse me. I'm talking about on the offense. Maybe pass it to the running back. We haven't seen that a lot at all from the Arizona side this season, so that might be something that would keep Florida on their heels, and they're not expecting it.
2nd down,
like
7. They'll flip it out to Moses, and he'll pick up a couple. There is recovering from that, Charles. 3rd and 5.
So that was, I guess, you know, you can give me grief about that. You owe me.
Well, hey, listen, if you want to talk about what Florida can do on the drive, that works for me. I'm flexible. Won't get the play out before the 2-minute warning. 3rd and 5. We've hit it.
Fast.
And it has been. No penalties either. Been a clean game, Charles.
Yeah.
2 minutes to go.
Yeah, I mean, neither of these teams, you know, well, I don't want to do a Cam and jinx them, but both of these teams are very good at limiting the turnovers. And here we go. It's out there.
3rd down. Split backs for Jackson. All day. Jackson dumps it off, and I don't think the receiver was paying. That was Will Todd. I don't think he was expecting the football there, just had to get rid of it, and Arizona will give Ron Cochran one last chance in the first half.
Oh, my gosh. I think that AJ saw well-covered receivers downfield and the pocket collapsing and had to make a split decision and get rid of it quickly.
Tarantino's going to get this up into Arizona territory. And since Charles proclaimed Ashley Jackson's great 2-for-2 start, she is just 2 of her last 8.
Yeah, that's horrible that I did that.
Listen, I don't want that bad juju on me. I got a family. 1st and 10 at the 40.
Are you running for office, Cam?
Huh?
You ever think about going into politics?
I have before, but no.
That was a brilliant. Put the blame on somebody else.
I don't think I have a good enough bedside manner to be able to appeal to the masses. 5-yard gain for Vandalay.
I don't think they need to be too aggressive here, Cam. I mean, runs, short passes, passes to the out of the backfield.
Yeah, I'm with you. Nothing too crazy. Kamasak inside, outside, has a first down into scoring position. So Florida is just fine.
Yeah, they are built for this situation. I mean, great running, great blocking, and Hall of Fame quarterback.
Timothy Shea in the chat. What's up, SFL? Hope you're having a good night, as well as everybody else in the chat. Will Todd, Guy Clausen, Bullet Boletsky, Brett Killian, and many others. Cochran dumps it to Bullet, and Bullet can't get out of bounds. Excellent job by Bo Martin Jr. to force another Florida timeout.
Bo Martin and Nathaniel Diggs as well. That is teamwork there on defense, shutting that edge down. I thought that was going to be a pretty big game, but it showed their closing speed and also the discipline, Cam, staying in their lane and knowing what they needed to do.
4 receivers for Ron Cochran. It'd be a 48-yarder from here. The wind is swirling. That pass is caught by Bush. And a timeout, Florida. They have none left. 3rd and 1.
I don't even know if you could count that as a drop back. I don't know if he took a step back. He just stood there and got rid of the ball as quick
I think
as
that's
he
a
possibly
Pilates move.
Holy smokes. Did you say Pilates move?
I think it's called the upward Ron.
There you go.
3rd and 1. Cochran, 5-step drop. Oh, what? Oh, wide open. The ball is popped out. Arizona, for the moment, has the football. There's also a flag.
I think it's going to stay. Oh, wow, flag.
It's roughing the passer on Arizona, which will wipe out the turnover. Oh, man.
Flag. That was incredible. I mean, I didn't see who did that, but
Norwood.
Man, Eddie's going to be grabbing some face masks on the sidelines.
Norwood called for the roughing the passer. We did not get an official replay. We'll have to look at that at the break. Charles thought it stood. I kind of think it would have stood as well. The fumble, that is as Kamasak gets the ball up to the 6. Now remember, Florida has no timeout, so they got to go no huddle.
But this is the best way to go on no huddle after that type of play. Defense is on their heels.
Cochran in zone, intercepted, and it's taken back the other way. Ernest McCray Sr. with just Ron Cochran to beat. 35, 30, Ron trying to catch him. He will not. Touchdown Arizona, 100 yards. What a play.
Gosh, that is unbelievable. 2 plays in a row, 2 turnovers, 1 called back on a penalty, and this interception. I mean, you can question whether or not why they threw in that situation, but man, good defense there by McCray, and that's what you need, a playoff team. That's what they do. They don't give up. When you're in their red zone, they're going to make you pay for it, and man, hats off to the defense of Arizona.
And the first thing I thought of, Charles, when I saw Sean Moore over there is don't block him in the back. Because if they would have called that back due to a penalty, that would have been absolutely brutal. Instead, it's Ernest McCray Sr. on the interception return for a touchdown, his 6th pick 6 all time. He's top 20 in the league all time, despite just 6 seasons in the league. A pick 6 per season for Ernest McCray Sr., and Arizona kicks it away, all of a sudden tied.
That was a statement, Cam. I mean, that was a statement by the Arizona defense.
On the return from the ball, and Florida recovers. Oh, my goodness.
I think Florida just needs to go into the locker room.
And you know what happened there? Bobby Tarantino was out due to fatigue. All the players trying to chase Ernest McCray Sr. Florida had a bunch of reserves in there, and they nearly cost him more points.
Yeah, I'd take a knee at this point and regroup. Florida definitely needs to regroup after that last series.
Arizona, an absolute stunner towards the end of this half. Charlie Boletsky takes the handoff, picks up 5, and yes, Florida very much content with trying to get to the locker room.
That just turned the whole game upside down, Cam. I was waiting for Arizona to do something. We challenged them, and boy, did they execute.
One more play, perhaps. Hand it off to Komisak, see if he can get loose. Albert Begin's going to rack up another tackle. According to our excellent stat truck of Justin Reside and Michaela Forker, that is tackle number 11 for Albert Begin as we hit the half.
I mean, you have to put the success for Arizona here in the first half clearly on the shoulders of their defense. The offense has been waiting to get in gear. I mean, they had that first series where they went down the field pretty quickly, but after that, the Florida defense was kind of dictating the terms, but the Arizona defense, they said, we'll take control here, got that turnover there in the end zone and put some points on the board. And now it's time to go into the locker room and figure out what kind of adjustments you need to do, Cam.
And while Arizona's offense hasn't done a whole lot in the first half, they did keep it turnover free. And that was the difference in that first half. The pick six from Ernest McCray Sr. jumping the route. What a play as Cochran finishes the first half 13 for 20. Ron Haynes is your leading receiver right now in the ball game. Your player of the half belongs to Ron Haynes. He was the catalyst for Florida's offense, 40 yards and a touchdown. Before Chris Curtis and Tyler Falk take over, let's take a halftime break presented by Brakes GPT.
We just pulled a full-size Taylor Swift helmet. Shout out to all our Swifties. Travis Kelce. This is a Giants Lawrence Taylor.
Patrick Mahomes.
Chad Johnson with the Ocho Cinco.
We have a Drew Brees.
Is that an O.J. Simpson jersey?
It's an Aaron Rodgers.
Oh my goodness.
Tom Brady! Tom Brady!
Arizona and Florida starting things out in the first half, and the first time, Tyler, these two teams have been in the eye together since season 9. Talk about this first half, a great end to it for Arizona.
Yeah, absolutely. And the cliche is the halftime team talks always change when you have a last second score, especially when it ties up the ball game. How about my former teammate, Ernest McCray Sr., with the I'm going to say roughly 104-yard return pick six, unofficially because they don't count more than 100 yards. I digress. It should be 104 yards because Ernest McCray Sr., as Eddie Gage will tell you, as the rest of his teammates, current and former, will tell you, he is a lightning rod in every locker room. He will live, breathe, and die for your brand and for your colors, for your team. And for him to get that pick six shows you what type of player Ernest McCray is for a very good Arizona defense. Now, the one thing that comes to mind is where Ernest McCray got the interception. And I know he's playing maybe slot corner at the moment, but that almost brings to mind maybe a certain strong safety who retired in the offseason. Maybe he could have gotten that interception and maybe had a chance to return. But I digress. It's a pick six. Eddie Gage and the rest there of Zona will take it. It's 10-10 in a very nip and tuck defensive game. Ashley Jackson has had nobody to throw to. She has been contained all game so far. This Florida defense is no joke, and they're playing in friendly confines. There are definitely storm clouds out there tonight in Fort Lauderdale.
Yeah, no doubt. Arizona and Florida playing a very tight game. On the other side, Ron Cochran doesn't necessarily look like himself either. He hasn't really looked like himself the last several weeks. Neither of these teams coming off of win streaks by any stretch. Arizona trying to avoid a second straight loss, while Florida trying to avoid a third straight loss. So it is I wouldn't say desperation time, but it's more desperate than it has been in previous weeks for these two teams. Let's take a look at the week 11 as a whole. And as we put everything on the table here, we want to talk winners and losers. So what I want to give you is the opportunity to pick a winner, pick a loser from the week 11 slate that really showed out or really didn't show up and fell in the standings because of it.
Oh my, this is a tough one.
Yep.
As far as Well, let's go with the winner, right? Let's go with Houston over Indy. That's a crucial one now, especially when it comes to deciding who is going to come out maybe from a come from behind victory. Houston and Indy both needed that game, and Houston goes on the road to take that victory. I'll give Mike Sankarin his flowers and the rest of the headhunters their flowers here because they came away with a much needed victory. And of course, on the other side, Indy's your loser and probably a big loser in that one. They have some tough games coming up, all against divisional rivals and very tough the players in, well, the Chicago you might be able to get one, but that you have Lexington who's now maybe 2 or 3 teams ahead of you, which you play in week 13, and then you play a team that's already in the postseason picture in Carolina. I think Indy needed this game versus Houston to determine whether or not they'd be in or out. It's not official, but I think this game makes them one of the bigger losers here this evening. One more big winner, I think, is Charleston. A lot of teams thinking they may not have enough. They always fall back at the end of the season. Well, here's a big winner against Bossier City, who's trying to make a good comeback and good push to make a late postseason lunge. Charleston slammed the door practically almost shut on them and come away with a massive win. Also, to put Bossier City in a world of hurt, and they are going to be desperate trying to find some last-minute wins as well.
I like it. That's a good illustration. Charleston always chasing that end of season run. They never seem to get it. You were right on the money there, where this time may be different for the Predators in South Carolina. Let's touch base on the third feature to this halftime show, and that is Tyler's pick. You get one pick. You either get to jinx them or you get to surge them. I'm not entirely sure which one it's going to be, and neither are they. Your one team that is currently outside the playoff picture that you see potentially moving to the inside of the playoff picture. You can include those that are in the hunt right now.
I think it's tough because right now I think the teams that we see in our playoff picture, the ones we're going to see in the playoff picture for the rest of the season. I don't really think any team, especially with Houston being in Indianapolis, I really don't think Indy, Bossier City will come back. So my one and only team going into week number 12 that my pick is to come back and maybe make a late postseason surge would be Lexington. They're sitting at 5-5, a tough loss against division leaders Minnesota, but they have a bye week to prepare for their final 2 weeks of the regular season, which are week 12 or week 13 and 14, with a bye week at the end of the regular season. They go away to Indianapolis. This is going to be a big test for Lexington. Can they get back into rhythm with an extra week to prepare? And I think they will. And I think they'll go into the snake pit and take down Indy. And then they come in and play Carolina, which is a big, crucial game for both teams here. End of the stretch. Both teams are going to need this win to make that postseason. Maybe it's the final win that either team needs to make the postseason. This one is going to be tough. I think it could go a coin toss between us and Carolina. If Lexington are able to play well at home, which they have done for a good part of this season, they have only lost 1 or 2 of their home games. Last one coming against Chicago in a very uncoordinated effort there. But they came back and beat DC at home, a tough team who's currently ahead of them in the playoff bracket. So I think they have found a little bit of form here at the end, and they're going to go on a late season winning streak to potentially see themselves in the postseason.
Okay, well, you can't count on Gabriel Manning either. He always seems to turn it on late season as well, the reigning league MVP, trying to make a statement and get his Miners into the playoffs. So the halftime is done. Ernest McCrae Sr. has the end of half strike, the 104-yard asterisk kick or punt. Pick 6 return for a touchdown, has one more career pick 6 than one Eddie Gage, who retired last season. Gotta love that. It is Arizona 10, Florida 10. We're headed back for the second half at the eye. Cameron Irvine, Charles Doherty on the other side. Shaping up to be a good finish, fellas. Let's have a good half. We'll see you post game.
And we're back. Thank you, fellas. Welcome back to the Eye in Fort Lauderdale, Florida, where it is 10-10. Arizona and Florida all knotted up. We are ready to go for the second half. Michaela Forker, Justin Reside in our stats truck. Charles Doherty is my partner in crime with me tonight, as he has been every week for the last 2 seasons. And Charles, I don't get to say it a lot, but you don't know how much that means to me to have such a stable and sturdy partner for Monday night, someone I can always count on. So you're the best, buddy.
Thank you. Wow, that's nice. It's a blast doing games with you, and right now I feel stable and sturdy.
So to our first half stats. There's a look at them. What stands out to you, Charles?
Well, you know, Florida made one mistake, I think, in the first half, and they paid for it. They put 7 points on the board for Arizona defense, and right now I can say that the momentum is on the Arizona side.
Handoff, Brad Jones. He's going to pick up, well, there's an injured player on the field. More momentum on the side of Arizona. That's Andrew Francis, one of their best defenders. J.J. Bailey will come in to spell him, but we hope that Andrew Francis isn't going to miss too much time tonight. That's a big loss.
As long as he's out of the game, Cam, I would dial up the run game. You're losing one of the best run coverage backs or run coverage players in the league on the sideline right now. You can capitalize on that.
Francis leads his team in tackles with 62. 2nd down and 3. The handoff goes right back to Jones, and Brad Jones has a first down. Daniel Wright cleans it up. That is exactly what they do, Charles. Arizona off to a strong start in the 3rd quarter.
I think that's smart, getting Brad Jones involved. Get him in his groove and get some positive yardage and make that Florida defense guess.
Draw, DJ Moses. Didn't see that at all in the first half. Moses picks up 13.
Now that is what you call a great execution for play action. It looked like a pass. I think everyone in the stadium was expecting a pass on that one. AJ just ran it to perfection and allowed that great yardage run by DJ.
You see Ike McBride throwing shade at you in the chat, Charles?
He's my sister-in-law, so that's her job. That's what sister-in-laws do.
And off Jones. Jones gets 8, and you nailed it, Charles. Now that Andrew Francis is out, Arizona running all over Florida right now.
You keep doing it. I mean, run until they take the T-bird away.
Bismarck Wright with a great block there. In the first half, Arizona had 24 yards rushing. They have 32 in the first minute and 20 seconds of this drive. Handoff, Moses breaks a tackle, first down. Daniel Wright, another stop, but a move of the chains once more for the Scorpions. They're 7th.
I'm going to say just keep going to the well here, Cam, but, you know, they don't necessarily listen to me very often. I would not be passing it, but here we go.
10-10, back to Bismarck Wright, but Bismarck Wright lost his way behind some of the big hog mollies up front. That was 6'2", 350 Benazzi and 6'6", 335 Kelly that was all over it. Second and 11. Jackson looking. Jackson fires first pass of the drive. There's a flag in the end zone.
Wow, that was. Did you see how much velocity was on that pass, Cam?
I didn't think it was ever going to come down.
My gosh, it's like firing off a Desert Eagle there. That thing came out of the barrel hot.
Oh man, that's brutal.
Yeah.
What do you think, Charles?
It's hard,
I'm
man.
not
Things
seeing.
goes fast. I mean, if you're a defender there, I don't necessarily think you can go too hard on the defender there. Things are moving quick. You got to make a play. It's in the end zone.
That's a brutal penalty to take at the 1 yard line and a brutal injury to take with Andrew Francis. Arizona trying to punch this in. First and go on the 1. Handoff DJ Moses, and Moses is in for the touchdown. Arizona scored 14 unanswered pending extra point. Hunter Norwood's happy after that penalty nearly wiped away a big turnover at the end of the 2nd quarter. Arizona up 16-10.
Yeah, I mean, you had Evan Carroll one-on-one. You might have had, I don't know. I think that one-on-one tackling is very tough to do against either running back of Arizona. They were a great drive there. I think they responded. They did the adjustments they needed to do based on the injury, and now they're looking at a 7-point lead.
DJ Moses continues to help out his potential Hall of Fame candidacy here in 2025 with that score. That is his 135th career rushing touchdown. He is 5th all-time and just 4 behind the active and also Hall of Famer Warren Murray. On the return, Tarantino. Bobby to the 26. Florida. Ron Cochran's got to be thinking, what has happened here? Because he had the ball up 10-3 on about the 4-yard line with about 30 seconds to go in the second quarter, and now he gets the ball 4 minutes later down touchdown.
I mean, the only adjustment I think they needed to make on offense is their play selection in the red zone. I mean, that was not the best, play to call, and maybe take out that play action on third down. Other than that, I think they had a pretty solid plan.
Cochran with 118 passing yards in the first half, drops to throw. Clean pocket, check down, caught, Ron Haynes, but Nathaniel Diggs wraps him up after a gain of just 2.
Well, it was just 2, but props to the line like you gave. That was a clean pocket. It just looked like downfield Arizona had everybody covered, and that was his only option.
2nd and 8. Cochran to throw. Deep. Oh, that was his best throw of the night. Ron Haynes, are you kidding me?
How did he catch that? It looked like there were 3 defenders around him. I thought that was going to be an interception. Plenty of time again, Cam. Oh, holy smokes. Ernest McCray, half a second later, he would have had an interception on that.
Yeah, to challenge Ernest McCray again, that takes some stones, and that's your nice hands catch brought to you by Retroid. Put a Retroid handheld in your hands. Play the only video game with your player in it, SFL 4K23. Cochran checks it down. Ron Haynes again, catch number 6 tonight. He scurries out of bounds
swing,
after.
Cam.
Huh?
Little tight end swing. That's a good little wrinkle.
After a
We've seen
pickup,
more of that.
after a pickup of 5, another play from Ron. He's been on fire.
And just that one mistake. I won't bring it up again. Shut up, Charles.
2nd and 5, Comisac, nothing. Loss of 2, Sean Moore.
Haven't seen a lot of 4 wide receiver sets. They've run it a couple times for Florida. That might be playing in the hands of Arizona, but let's see what they do here. Yeah, they're going 4. Maybe there's a tight end out there, but
Most catches by Ron Haynes in an SFL game in his career is 7. Ron Cochran down the field, incomplete. Looking for Vandelay. That was Bo Martin. That was a nice little tag team there. Bo Martin, Jr., Albert begin with the stop.
I think Arizona is built for the dime and nickel formations. If you don't want to put too many wide receivers out there because they are loaded in the backfield. They have 6 studs in the secondary.
Marcus Agrippa, another punt. This one only to the 20. Wind must be in his face. And Ron Cochran has started to wobble just a little bit, 6 of 10. But you could see, Charles, that he's found nothing deep as he did for much of the first 2 drives of Florida.
Yeah, as if you recall, most of those deep plays were out of 21 and 22 sets, where they didn't have 3-4 wide. So, again, if you go 4 wide, you're playing in the hands of Arizona.
And 3rd downs, Florida, to your point, has started 3 for 3. They've converted just 2 of their last 6. That pass is caught on a little curl route from TJ Punk.
Yep, TJ Punk, love to get him more involved here in the second half. He is a solid tight end, and that is going to add some trouble there for the Florida defense if he starts heating up.
2nd and 2. Handoff, Brad Jones, and a nice play in the backfield made by Ryan Tobin.
A couple plays tonight, so Tobin's made an impact on that one. Was probably his biggest. I mean, that was a big stop in the backfield. Got to slow that offense down of Arizona.
Toss play to DJ Moses. He won't get there. 4th and 3. Daniel Wright on the stop.
That's what you want your safety to do. Mostly you're expecting your strong safety to do that, but when your free safety, Daniel Wright, could go in there and close it in the backfield. I mean, holy smokes. Hats off to him.
Punt is away. Florida's defense stands tall. The Storm have won 7 straight at home. Their last loss in this building was to Canton, 24-10. So it's been a minute for Florida. And Charles, if Florida were to lose tonight, there is an East Division salivating. One of the most wild division races. All 5 teams, if the playoffs started today, would make the playoffs, as Ron Cochran's pass is caught by Bush for a pickup of 7 right on his hip.
Oh, that was exactly the only place he could put it. And Ron Cochran, when he wants to be crazy accurate, man, it's just, he is in his own world.
4:16 to go in the third. Stephen Bush goes in motion to the top of the screen. Arizona 17, Florida 10. 4:06 to go, third quarter, handoff. Comisac got it, first down, just barely. Rain Rie on the stop.
I would, if I were Florida, I'd try and stay away as much as possible from 3 wide receiver or wide receiver sets. I mean, they are killing it in the passing game when they've got only two wide and a tight end or 2.
Saw Comisac's updated numbers there. Handoff, Boletsky.
Run.
Albert began there at the end to clean it up. 6-yard gain.
That's what they need. It's not sexy, Cam, but it takes chunks of yards down the field, and before you know it, you'll be in the red zone threatening.
Boletsky has really had a hard time finding his footing in recent seasons. I think this has been his best game of the season. 44 yards on 9 carries. He's looked really good. Comisac has another first down of the 50. So Florida's kind of taken the Arizona approach from last drive. They're finding a lot of space in the run game.
Yeah, again, love it. Love the play calling. Just stay with it. Also, don't forget your short passes to your tight ends and halfbacks. They've been very successful to me.
Comisac 62 yards on 10 carries, so they must have given him that. We were talking about it earlier. They must have given him that reception as a backwards pass run. As Ron Cochran fires it over to Haynes, that's a gain of just 1. As the Lawless makes the play, but Ron Haynes now sitting on that career high in receptions tonight.
And that was another example of Ron Cochran just like putting the ball at the hip of the wide receiver, and not a lot of yards there, but man, he just puts it where only the receiver can get it.
Flip to Bullet. Bullet got a block. Yeah. Bullet Boletsky first down to the Arizona 39.
That's when practice pays off, Cam. There wasn't the best executed pass, but all of the players on the field knew what they had to do on the field, their blocking assignments, and they executed it perfectly. And you had a lane, the running back had a lane after the catch to run and get a first down.
When Florida plays like this, Charles, when they've got all these different things working for them, it's a work of art. Ron Cochran dumps off on a check down. That's Cason. Lawless strings him out for only a gain of 1.
And what you're doing there is you're making the defense of Arizona commit to those sides. You have to go into hard coverage there on the sides to cut down that swing and that screen pass, and it leaves some openings in the middle.
Cochran rolling to the weak side, fires, incomplete, and nearly stolen by Rain Rie.
Except for on that play, the middle was well covered.
It'd be like that sometimes.
Doesn't always work the way you draw it up, Cam.
Look at the total plays, 57-36. Arizona up 7, but really he just has not been on the field offensively all that much in this ball game. Play fake, Cochran down the field. This time it works. Third time's the charm. Caleb Giffis with his first catch of the night.
Caleb Giffis. I mean, he has got one of the highest yards per catch on the team. When you throw it to him, he makes it count. And on that one, it looked like it was bobbled a little bit. Maybe I can't see it where his back was to the camera, but good discipline there by Kalis.
1:08 to go in the third quarter. Cochran, check down Haynes, and there's your new career high. 8 grabs for Ron Haynes. Lawless, another stop. He has been just downright ridiculous in the third quarter.
Definitely. But I like what Florida's doing. They're not trying to push it too deep, with the exception of that one pass in the middle. If they just stay to the conservative formations as well, I think they'll put some points on the board.
Cochran in zone, touchdown Ron Haynes, just pulling it out of the sky. He's got 2 touchdowns tonight.
And why not? I mean, a lot of that series was on the back of Ron Haynes. Some great catches, great route running, and man, I think he deserved that touchdown. And what a way to lead your offense down the field by Ron Cochran. But, who are we kidding? He's done that a million times.
Ron Haynes' last touchdown, just a touchdown, was May 4th. And he has 2 tonight. This is the first time in the minors or in the pros that Ron Cochran has had multiple touchdowns in a game. He is having a night, and we're tied at 17.
I mean, that's shocking, Cam. I mean, there's a lot of talent on this team. Ron Cochran, the way his player is built, is just, he's made to be a receiving tight end.
Hank Earl Troll on the kick return for Arizona, and will not get much on that, only up to the 20-yard line. So we're back to offense being pretty strong. An 11-play drive there from Florida. That is their 3rd drive of the night. All their scoring drives have been 10-plus plays.
Now let's see what Florida defense can dial up here to throw the Arizona flow off a little bit here on offense.
Will Todd in motion. Targeted just once, went off his helmet. Jackson going to start the drive with a pass. Jackson rolling left, now going to take off and run for the first time tonight. Lost the ball, picked up by Ryan Tobin at the 22-yard line. Devastating.
Oh my, who did that forced fumble? It looked like that was clearly from the other side of the field. It looked like the
That was Andrew Francis back in the game,
Andrew
Charles.
Francis. Holy smokes. Back in the game makes an impact.
Wow. Welcome back. Andrew Francis forces the fumble. And I think Juan Mississippi actually recovered the fumble. Also has a sack on the night. So 1st and 10 at the 23-yard line. Florida can retake the lead, and Alex Constantine knocks down a check down to Ron Haynes. A brilliant play. Constantine has a fumble return for a touchdown. That's how they beat Fort Worth.
You saw some air there on that one as well. Stick with your running game. Don't try and force it in the end zone.
2nd down and 10. 19 seconds to go in the third. Ron Cochran now 23 of 33, rolls and fires, and it's caught by Bush. Wow. Touchdown, Florida. Back-to-back scores in a matter of a minute.
That was we talked about AJ on a series or two back, putting a pistol, firing a pistol. That right there was a howitzer, just out of the arms of Cochran into Bush's hands, and it looked like number 24 number 24, Bo Martin Jr. had a shot at that, but it just got to the hands of the wide receiver so quickly he couldn't do anything.
More red zone magic from Stephen Bush. That is career touchdown number 73. He's top 20 all-time. That extra point is good. Bush now one away from tying K.L. Barrett atop the leaderboards. That was some throw and some catch. Ron Cochran now 3 touchdowns and a pick tonight, a QBR of 105 completing 71% of his passes. That is higher than his season average. Hanker Troll back to work again. And the exact opposite in the third quarter has happened. In the first quarter, Charles, it looked like Florida was going to go up 14. Instead, it was Arizona tying the game. Arizona had a 7-point lead, and now Florida scored 14 straight, and they have the advantage.
I mean, we're looking at a game here that is top-notch. I think the best quality game we've seen all season.
Handoff, Brad Jones all day to run to the 43-yard line. No one touched him.
Perfect way to end the quarter, Cam.
Man, this is getting good.
AJ only has 11 passing attempts. The 34 for Ron Cochran.
Are you not entertained? 24-17, Florida leads at the end of the third. We'll be right back.
Presentation of the Simulation Football League is intended for the private use of our audience. Any rebroadcast, retransmission, or account of the game without the express written consent of the league office is prohibited.
Yeah, buddy. Cameron Irvine, Charles Doherty with you, Michaela Forker, and Justin Reside in our stats truck. A look at the updated numbers that now tell the story as Brad Jones is loose again, all the way to the 47 of Florida, pickup of 11.
You can put the offense on his back, Cam. He's that type of runner. And here's the deal. They're going to do this, and they're going to lull you to sleep on these runs, and then they're going to try and throw it deep to Hands or Montana or Punk or Troll. Just wait for the deep pass here. They're going to sneak it in.
They had the post route working in that first quarter with Hands and Montana and Punk. 1st and 10 now, back to the run game. This is DJ Moses, and he gets a solid 4 yards. Arizona continues to run it even with Francis back healthy in the game.
Yeah, I mean, that's good, though. Stick to it. I think, they don't use their halfbacks as much as Florida does. They've got some studs in the backfield there. I mean, it's hard to spread the ball around, but I think they need to, going into the playoffs, they need to get their halfbacks involved more in the offense.
Brad Jones, 70 yards on 12 carries. He's got another one here, but this time cannot break free. Evan Carroll with the stop. It'll be a 3rd and a long 4. Arizona's offense hasn't been on the field much tonight, and they have not been good on 3rd down. 1 of 6.
Yeah, Tobin and Carroll. It looks like that's like Batman and Robin. We've been hearing about them together making these tag team tackles all night.
3rd down defense. Florida 9th in the league, and Moses is going nowhere. Andrew Francis and Daniel Wright with the stop in the backfield. The drive stalls out.
Oh, Wright and Francis. I think they heard the dynamic duo reference, and they said, hey, hold up. We got this. And they shut it down in the backfield. Your 2 safeties came in, they read it at the line, and now they're getting the ball on offense.
At the 17, not much room to return there. Garrison makes the stop on special teams. This is a monumental series for the Florida Storm defense. They have given up 24 points tonight. And, Charles, they haven't done that since week 1 when they beat LA 25-24.
I just, smooth and steady for Florida. That's all they need to do here on offense.
1st and 10 of the 17. Handoff Art Vandelay. And Vandelay drags Garrison and Begin, who right now we have credited with 19 total tackles, 2nd and 5.
Crazy. I mean, the Arizona defense has been on the field a lot tonight, Cam, and at this point of the game with 7 minutes and some change left, they're getting close to being gassed.
Handoff again. Kamasak could not find room. Excellent stop there from Arizona. Depending upon how they calculate this in postgame, Charles, Albert Begin could be staring at a tackle record if he gets to that 23 range.
That's crazy.
This is the first close game that Florida has played this season in terms of point differential. They have not had a game this season as Boletsky gets the first down, Begin on the tackle. Florida has not had a game this season that has been decided by 1 score. First down, Florida, up 7.
Now that block on the edge, Cam, was textbook. Holy smokes. Shut it down. The defense didn't have a chance keeping the runner from the first down mark.
Joseph Wade helping out on that right side. That's another handoff to Vandelay. Gets 3 on the play. Arizona's done a pretty good job on him tonight, just 16 yards on 6 carries.
Yeah, Florida is built for this situation, Cam. They're up by 7, 6 minutes left. They can milk the clock. They've got the playbook to do it.
Showing pressure, they bring it off the left side, they dump it off opposite direction. Komisak breaks a tackle, and Chris Komisak's got a first down. The perfect play call, Charles, against the Arizona defense.
Definitely, and that is got to be frustrating for the defense for Arizona. I mean, I don't think they were expecting that pass out of the backfield, kind of lulled them to sleep with just a couple runs. And, they're kind of on their heels here, and it's at the point in the game now and where Arizona needs to do something to take control of this.
Total plays now 67-43 in favor of Florida. 6:10 left. Bring outside pressure from the opposite direction. They throw it the other way again. Pickup of 8 to Boletsky. Ron Cochran's in their head.
They don't have an answer for those screen swing passes, Cam. They don't, and they can go to that all night long.
59 on the outside, 165 through the middle for Ron. 2nd and 2 at midfield. 5:45 left. Arizona is in need of a stop. LeMay in motion. Tarantino lined up off the line. I think that's Ron Haynes at the top of your screen. Handoff. That's Komisak. Will not get there. Wrapped up by McCray. A huge 3rd and 2 coming up.
That was a big stop by McCray. I mean, holy smokes, going up against Komisak, the fullback. The 240 pounds he brought down on a solo tackle.
Arizona only gives up 5 first downs per game on 3rd down. That is best in the SFL, but Florida has converted 8 already tonight. 3rd down and 2. They got it. Komisak right up the gut. Nathaniel Diggs with the tackle. The clock keeps moving.
The only thing I could nitpick on is that they snapped the ball too early. You got to start milking the clock there. But after that, they executed the blocking perfectly.
7 in the box. Arizona's defense looking a little gassed. Handoff. Boletsky. Oh, Albert Begin just saving this team 1 tackle at a time.
Holy smokes. That was a big hit. But, man, Boletsky is a sneaky runner. I mean, just when you think he's going to get brought down, he's able to find that opening in the gap and get a good gain of 8.
And his 64 yards tonight is a season high. 2nd down and 2. 4:16 to go. They toss it out to Komisak. He breaks a tackle. First down to the 32-yard line, entering scoring position.
I mean, let's give props to Albert Begin for making those tackles, but when your safety's making that many tackles, it normally means that the offense is putting up a lot of yards running.
Boletsky 64 yards. Komisak 75 yards. Arizona desperately needs a turnover. Now they're running a little bit more clock. Handoff Boletsky. Got some more space. Begin again.
Wow. I mean, the blocking was okay. I'd give it an okay rating. I mean, they've been blocking well tonight, but it's just his ability. What he does after he gets the ball is just eye-opening. You don't think maybe he's going to get a yard or 2, but he's able to just do that, use his body, his athleticism, and get 8 yards.
This is the 4th drive of the night for Florida that's been over 10 plays. It's just not sustainable for a defense who's trying to bend and not break. 2nd down and 2, down to 3:06 to go in the half. Handoff Komisak. It's just the Boletsky-Komisak show. They cannot stop it. 3 minutes left.
They got to dial it up, Cam. You've got some stud safeties in Rie and Begin. You got to put them up on the line. You got to get your linebackers, Lawless, Diggs, and Moore. You got to have them as aggressive as possible and, maybe overcommit to that run. But at this point, I think that's the only thing that Florida's going to be going to. Florida
is playing keep away brilliantly, I might add, here in the second half. 2:30 to go. At this point, I mean, Arizona probably needs a fumble because Florida's not putting the ball in the air. Oh, that's a nice play. Lawless will force a second down and long for the first time this entire drive.
That's what they needed. That's what they needed. I mean, there's if they walk away with a field goal, it's going to be tough, borderline miracle. But hey, do what you got to do. Give your defense a chance to make a turnover here.
2-minute warning. Arizona on their last legs as Florida has come out firing in the second half. You're watching the Week 11 Monday Night Spectacular, and Week 12 heads to Mexico City. Charles, you and I are there for Aztecs and Headhunters. Houston with a brilliant overtime, come-from-behind victory last week to save their season. And they're going to take on their bitter rival Mexico City. I believe it will be the 21st meeting all-time between the two legacy teams as Comisac picks up 6. Timeout Arizona. They got to get a stop right here.
It's pretty simple what Florida needs to do. We all know it. Just run the clock out, run it up the middle. Don't take any chances. Put all of the pressure on the defense of Arizona.
15th play of the drive. Florida's 9 of 13 on third down, including 3 for 3 this quarter. Handoff. Comisac got it again. They may run this clock out completely.
They are both the fullback, Comisac, and Beletsky, the halfback. They're just, artists after they get the ball. I mean, what they do, even if they don't have the best blocking up front, they're able to get extra yards.
The drive started with 8:12 left in the game. Arizona has had 9 offensive plays in the second half. Comisac, nothing. And a timeout for Arizona. That is their last. Arizona had a 3-and-out punt, a fumble on the first play of their next drive, and then 5 plays and a punt. And that's it in this half.
Yeah, and they kept the ball out of Ashley Jackson's hands. I mean, she's only got 11 attempts all night.
No timeouts for Arizona. Handoff Comisac. It's 3rd and 8. Now, Charles, you got to just run, right?
Of course. You know me. You know what I'm going to say.
Yeah.
But
I mean, sure. Now, if Ron Cochran wants to exercise some demons, he could try to throw a touchdown here.
Ooh,
but
no, I would try and forget that. Oh, man.
That would take extreme guts.
Yeah.
3rd and 8.
They're going 3 wide. Holy smokes.
Florida from the 9. They can get inside the 1 for a first down and kill it.
No.
Is Cochran going to throw? No. Hands it off right up the gut to Beletsky, and that'll burn 40 seconds. What a drive.
What you do. What a drive is right. And you know what, Cam? Way to respond.
Yeah.
At the end of that that first half, Ron Cochran threw it, an interception in the end zone, got 7 points the other way. Holy smokes. After that, they were near perfect. I mean, we talked about adjustments at halftime. They did exactly what they needed to do. They looked at and made the changes they needed to do and executed it perfectly and just took command of the game.
Now, I stand corrected. Arizona had the touchdown drive to start the third quarter, as that kick is good. After that, they've only had the 9 offensive plays. But that drive ends up being an 18-play, 75-yard, 7+ minute drive. One of the most, perfect, I should say, Charles, drives I've ever seen. That was championship football right there.
Well, and another mark of a champion is responding on turnovers. And they had that big turnover deep in Arizona territory, and they put points on the board.
Well, Ashley's not going to have 11 passes anymore. She needs to hurl it down the field and quick. Can't really put the game on Arizona's offense. They just didn't have any chances. Not really a lot. I mean, Ashley Jackson had the fumble just trying to make a play, but wow, I mean, it's crazy how little we saw of Arizona's offense in this game. That pass is caught That's not going to do much, Todd, for 6. Spike with 10 seconds left.
Yeah, I mean, they didn't have the ball enough. But, when they did have the ball, Cam, it wasn't I think if they would have gone to that running game earlier, Arizona, I think we might have been looking at, maybe a little bit different outcome.
Canton is cheering. They will retain their number 1 spot atop the standings as they chase their first title. Florida will improve to 7-2 and join the ranks of Mexico City, Arizona, and Minnesota, all with that 7-2 record heading into next week. That pass is caught by Donnie Hands, but that is it. Wow, Florida in the second half. What a performance, 27-17. You tip your cap to them. That was some football game. Charles, your final thoughts?
Arizona, I'm not taking anything away from Arizona.
No.
They are a quality team, and they will be in the playoffs, very successful. But Florida just showed that they've got the chops to go deep in the playoffs, I think. I mean, they made adjustments after they were punched in the face by their opponent, won the game at home like they're supposed to. They made the adjustments at halftime, and they were successful at executing them. And Ron Cochran tonight, I mean, his 3 touchdowns, 1 interception, 105 QBR, 72% completion. I mean, he did above and beyond. I'm going to give him the ball. There's a bunch of other folks on the Florida side I could give it to, but I'm giving it to the Hall of Famer.
That was an incredible game. Great job to our stats truck, Michaela Forca, Justin Reside, Charles Doherty. It was a pleasure. Wow, this game certainly lived up to the billing, and Florida pulls away late and wins 27-17. If you're wondering what's on tap for Week 12, the schedule is loaded. It should be an awesome week number 12, and we are going to send it over to Tyler Falk and Chris Curtis momentarily for the SFL postgame. They will give their reactions to Florida's big win over Arizona tonight and look at the biggest games of the Week 12 slate coming up. Fellas, take it away in a matter of moments.
And with that, welcome. You get a look at things behind the scenes before we get our cameras up and running. We are done with a crazy finish in Fort Lauderdale. 18 plays, 75 yards, over 7 minutes off the clock, Tyler. This was a clinic by Florida to keep Arizona's offense off the field and just the most soul-sucking drive we've seen this season.
Couldn't have said it better myself, Curtis. And here's the big thing. Last season and seasons past, we talked about when you have to play Canton last season or Baltimore in those seasons past, you were told that you have to play perfect football to beat them. And that's exactly how it feels when you play Florida this season, especially when they're on their game like they were tonight. Arizona, 1 of 5 on third downs, 2 punts, a fumble, and very little offense to speak of without that first drive, which saw them take the lead, but then they would do nothing afterward. The big thing for me is, yes, you got out to a lead. You had this momentum, but you couldn't do nothing with it. I echo the sentiments of Cameron Irvine on the call. The offense couldn't do much because Florida was able to control the football.
Yeah.
But they didn't do enough, is the thing. They couldn't do it, but they had chances, but they had 2-3 missteps on their pursuit of trying to catch Florida, who retakes the lead and would never look back. It's the final drive that tells me that Florida is not. Don't look at the 2 losses before this game and say, oh, Florida has a lot of chinks in their armor. Florida doesn't know what they're doing. They're collapsing. No. This drive against Arizona, to put it in Charles Doherty's words, was exactly what they needed. A very resilient and effective and a statement-making drive for the Storm sees them go to 7-2.
Well, and that tells you what you need to know as far as where Florida's at. It wasn't the two losses where they lost those games in a lot of cases. The other teams that they've played really just won those games. Because when Florida's at the top of their game, this is what Florida football looks like. They control the football, they control the line of scrimmage, and they will take time off the clock at will when things are going according to how they want to do it. And it was all three phases today. It was the offense, it was the defense in some cases, and it was the special teams in some cases as well that did the job necessary. Great teams find a way to win, Tyler, and that's what Florida did here tonight. That said, tell you what, you and I are chomping at the bit and salivating a little bit, because that is going to increase a team like Carolina's strength of victory coming off of this. 2 straight wins against Florida and Arizona, or not Arizona, Florida and Baltimore, and then Florida beats Arizona. That feels pretty good if you're a Skyhawk fan. That said, let's look ahead to week number 12. And the first game we have to take a look at, it's the only game on Friday night, and it is for a hungry and desperate Arizona Scorpions squad. Let's talk about this game just a little bit. They go up against DC, who are hungry in their own right. This is back in the desert. DC has their work cut out for them going up against an Eddie Gage-led Arizona Scorpions squad, losing 2 in a row.
I would say that's pretty much it. Being back home in friendly confines and playing on the road here in Florida in a very hostile environment for the first time. And I can't do math.
Season 9.
Is that like 6 years? 6 years, 12 seasons, or something like that?
14 seasons. So you're looking about 7 years.
Yeah. So it's been a hot minute since we've been in Fort Lauderdale for Arizona. So I can give Eddie a little bit of a break. That's what, how many seasons in a row that we've been in anywho, I'm not going to go into more math because that hurts my head. Anywho, it's back in Arizona. It's back in Phoenix. DC, they can play well, and they're going to give Eddie Gage a good game. They're going to give Arizona a good game, but Arizona is going to win that game. I fully believe it's going to be a 6-point victory for the Scorpions as they resurge back into form, try and make a good last second run. DC's a great team. I think Arizona will be very much looking for revenge, just like Florida was off the back of their own 2 straight loss streak.
Heard it here first, folks. Tyler Falk trying to be a prophet. If DC wins that game, you know who to DM. And we move ahead to Saturday. We got 4 games on the slate. You know how this works. We pick one each and determine or give the people a reason why they should be paying attention. Go ahead and get your game on Saturday afternoon.
Oh, I'm going to go Canton, Nashville. And here's the thing. Canton is going to come into Nashville, and Nashville looks like a really good expansion team. Canton, their expansion bid wobbled for a bit, and all of a sudden they came out of the gates flying the next couple seasons and have been done very well. Canton's going to get a taste of their own medicine as far as a team that is hot, hungry, like how Minnesota was hot and hungry when they were first coming into the league. It's going to be a good game. This game is probably going to be one of the better games to watch this weekend, or at least on Saturday, because Nashville's going to throw a wrench into Canton's effective game plan. It's going to make that game a lot closer than Canton fans will like it to be.
Okay, fair enough. I'm going to go the 2 above that. I'm going to go Vancouver, Minnesota. This is always a dynamic in the West Division is always going to be Vancouver. They've been very Jekyll and Hyde this season. Sometimes they've been world beaters, other times not so much, and they've been shorthanded most of the season with Kendra Wells being out due to suspension. But this is a team that, when all things are going right, they have a dynamic run game. They can beat this Minnesota squad even in Minnesota, albeit it will be a task and a half going up against these guys, because Minnesota's already proved that they belong in the upper echelon of this league. But they can have a slip up late in the season and still more or less be okay. If that slip up happens, it's going to be here to Vancouver. That's something to watch. Pittsburgh, Baltimore, and Queen City, Louisiana, the other 2 games on that Saturday. On Sunday, we have another 4-pack of games: Indy, Chicago, Charleston, Carolina, Fort Worth, Bossier City, and Denver, Motor City. Give me your pick for Sunday.
Yeah, you're just gonna lay it right up to me. It's the Corbin Cup, obviously. And here's the big thing for this Corbin Cup iteration. Most of the time when Corbin Cups happen, it's usually early in the season when you're still trying to fill everybody out, or it's late in the season when either one of these two teams can go ahead and make the postseason. For one of the very rare times in Corbin Cup history, this is two teams from the Carolinas that are itching for a playoff spot and are currently in the postseason picture. This is going to be probably one of the best Corbin Cups that we have seen in quite some time. It's going to be some really good football, and both teams are going to look for, it's a lot of bragging rights in the Carolinas. The Prasads and Clear and Brown. It's going to be one smack dab mosh pit over in Raleigh, and it's going to be fun, let me tell you. So you better be watching Sunday evening.
One of the higher stakes Corbin Cups we've had in recent memory, no doubt about that one. That one should be a darn good one. I've got my eye on two games, and I'll give you many reasons why. Indy, Chicago. Indianapolis, hungry for a win, needs one to keep themselves in the playoff conversation. Chicago feeling themselves a little bit coming off the dramatic OT win against Motor City, getting their second win. That is a huge one for them. So they coming off a win are at home. Windy City, Indianapolis coming in. Should be a fun one. On the other side, Denver, Motor City is the other one I'm looking at. Chicago beat Motor City. Motor City played well enough to win in that game, but it did not happen. They go up against a Denver team. This game has the potential to be as good competitively as Chicago Motor City a week ago, in my opinion. That should be a fun one to watch as well. The other game going on in that on that Saturday, or on that Sunday, sorry, is Fort Worth Bossier City, as Texas and Louisiana renew a rivalry. Monday, it's the Monday Night Spectacular, the 21st all-time meeting between Mexico City at home going up against the Houston Headhunters, and playoff implications all the way around for this matchup south of the border.
I mean, the big thing is Mexico City finds themselves atop the South Division, and Houston needs to win out to have themselves a pretty decent shot at maybe not just the division title, but a shot at the postseason. They're going to have to dig deep after a nice crucial win here this past weekend, but they're going to have to continue to do that and on the road south the border against an Aztecs team who looks extremely well coached and very vastly improved from the last couple of seasons. This one is going to be dicey. This one's going to be tough, and another good contest like we saw tonight in 1 week's time.
You know, the scary part about Mexico City, this roster has not even hit its apex. This is a team that is on the rise and trending upward over the last couple seasons, and I don't think has anywhere near hit their potential, to say the least. Houston, though, has had some late season surges in the past to get into the playoffs, even dating back to when they were the Hyenas. This should be a good one, no doubt about that one. That one's a spectacular way to close out week 12, pun absolutely intended. But week 11, we're going to put a bow on it. It's been a fun one. Arizona falls to Florida 27-17 in Fort Lauderdale after the Storm plays some championship football in the second half to seal it away. For Tyler Falk, Cameron Irvine, Charles Doherty, Mike St. Green, and all of us here at the Monday Night Spectacular crew, I'm Chris Curtis saying goodbye and good night from the I and SFL HQ. We'll see you in just a few days' time for Week 12.